Don't let your hair color keep you from looking out of date. In today's Style File, we keep you current and in the know with the season's hottest color trends. Beauty Snoop Megan Moore says warm, rich colors are in a major way. So does that mean the cooler, ashier blondes that Utah women love kind of moving out?
Yep, this is the season of warmth. We are seeing rich colors all across the board, so I'm excited about it. It's a kind of a change from what we've seen in years past.
It is a timeline adjustment too, right? Because typically we reach for the warmer colors in the fall and in the winter, but we're going into summer, the brightest, lightest season of the year, yet the hair color is getting a little warmer.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's different than what we've seen, but it's really fun. It's kind of great to shake it up and try something that you maybe haven't done before. So I'm really excited about it as a stylist, as a salon owner. We are loving this change.
So knowing a lot of Utah women love their cooler blonde tones, is this an easy color transition to make?
Yeah, I think so. It's typically more healthy for the hair, which is great to not go quite so bright. All of the trends that we're talking about are low maintenance, which is lovely. And yes, they're a little bit more healthy, so the transition really isn't a hard one to make.
And you think warmer tones are actually overall more flattering on skin tones?
They are. They tend to be more flattering across the board, so it's something that everybody should be jumping on.
Okay, we want to focus in on 3 today. This first one you are modeling so well, the Sombre.
Yes, Sombre.
Sombre.
So it's subtle ombre. We smashed it together and we're calling it Sombre.
Now first define an ombre for those who might not know.
So ombre is where you've got the deep dark roots and then it transitions to the lighter tones at the end. And in the last few years it's been really bright at the ends, like a really big difference between the 2 tones.
Drastic.
But Sombre is really subtle. So really the only difference is about 2 levels between the roots and the ends. So we've been seeing it on the runways and on the red carpets, lots of celebrities, and I'm wearing it. I've been wearing it for the last month or so and I've just been loving it. It's very easy to wear. It's great for somebody that has been wearing their hair like usually all one color, but this is a great transition because it starts to brighten up the ends and they get a little bit of that highlight, but it's not overwhelming. It just brightens up the face a little bit, but again, it's not too drastic.
Does the stylist have to use a special technique so it is subtle and not as drastic?
Yeah, so typically a stylist will hand paint this method on. So they're going to use their brush and they're just going to hand paint it on. They can put it in a foil or just leave it out to the air to process. It's a little bit more artistic, but yeah, it's just really fun because it's just very subtle, but gives a play of color, but it's not in your face and it's not stripy at all. You can't really tell where one color ends and the next color starts, which makes it really easy to wear because there's not a lot of maintenance.
So beautifully blended.
Yes.
You mentioned the maintenance. That's one thing that's really attractive to me is the idea of roots aren't a problem.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that's the best part of it. That's why I love it as a mom because I'm not having to touch it up all the time.
All right, Sombre.
Yes.
All right, Toffee Blonde is the next trend you have your eye on.
Yep, so this is M, and I'm just loving this. So we love blondes in Utah.
Yes, we do.
Of course we do, but I'm loving that we're seeing these more beige blondes coming in. So instead of these really gold, bright, pale blondes, we're seeing a toned down version. A lot of celebrities are wearing it. Elizabeth Olsen, this is Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. There's these beautiful, softer versions of the blonde. Again, it's easy for maintenance because you don't have that harsh line that comes in when your roots grow in, and it's just so beautiful. It's very flattering on the skin tones. This is Emily. We just love this kind of soft caramel toffee color. That's what we're calling it, Toffee Blonde. So
Toffee.
Again, it's just beautiful on the skin tone. It doesn't have as much maintenance and it's not as damaging because we don't have to lighten the hair as much. So we're just loving this for spring.
How does this wash up? Because if you've gone for a cooler blonde, you know that it starts to get a little more brassy as the weeks progress and the more you wash it. How does this hold out over time?
It actually wears better because we're not lightening it as much, so you're not dealing with the same fading issues. You're not dealing with the hard water. Sometimes that's what causes the blondes to get brassy is the minerals in our water, but because this isn't as blonde, it doesn't go as brassy. So it has this beautiful kind of warmer colors to start out with, so you're not dealing with those hard water problems that you do when you go really, really blonde in the first place.
You look stunning. Those celebrities have nothing on you. I love it. And the layers and the depth.
Yep,
oh my gosh.
all the dimension in that. So yeah, definitely something to think about if you're really blonde to kind of tone it down for spring.
Gorgeous. Okay, let's move this way. The third color tone that you have your eye on is what?
Okay, so this one is called écaillé, which is French for tortoiseshell. This is the buzzword of the season.
Tortoiseshell?
Tortoiseshell hair color. So we're seeing this everywhere. If you go on Instagram and look up tortoiseshell hair color, it is everywhere. Okay, so we're talking about these deep, rich brunettes, mahoganies, all these really shiny, beautiful browns with the beautiful caramel highlights through it. So really dimensional, lots of movement through the color, but the tones really come through the highlights. Instead of, we usually talk about texture as far as the haircut or the style, but in this case, we're talking about texture is built in through the color.
Look at the shine.
Isn't that pretty?
You're gorgeous.
Yeah. So with tortoiseshell, we think of like the tortoiseshell sunglasses. That's what we're talking about. Like all the different tones you get in the tortoiseshell pattern.
Yeah.
So all the beautiful, rich, warm colors that you find in tortoiseshell patterns, that's what we're talking about in these hair colors.
Like how many colors are going into her color?
So she's got like 3 or 4 different colors in hers. Isn't that so pretty?
It's beautiful.
And it's really blended and soft, nothing chunky. It's really like very subtle and just, you can't really, like I said, you can't really tell where one color starts and the next one begins. It's just all blended. So isn't that pretty?
It is gorgeous. From a skin tone perspective, who's a good candidate for the tortoiseshell?
Really, anybody can wear it as long as it's, if it's, you just don't want to have too much red in it if you've got red in your skin tone. So we just have to kind of customize the brown so that it fits with your redness factor in your own skin.
Ladies, thank you so much. If we have questions for you, Megan, where can we find you?
You can always find me at thebeautysnoop.com or at our salon, morehairdesign.com.
3 great hair trends for spring to keep an eye out for or ask your stylist about. And we'll remind you, now that you know the tone that you're looking for, I'll mention just last week, Megan shared the different ways your stylist can actually weave that color in. So for your options on that, you can check out our website. Just put hair weave into the search bar at the top of our website.